Shalom to everyone. Once again, join us at Midrash Tarova's Parshiot Shavua Shiur. I'm Rav Berg. Welcome to all our Bogrot. Wonderful to see you once again, and our visitors. Welcome. This Shabbat is Shabbat HaChodesh. We also finish the book of Shmot, and we say Chazak, Chazak, we need Chazek. And we're moving up towards Pesach. We had Shabbat Shkalim, we gave. Then we had Shabbat Zachor, we get rid of the bad. And then we had Shabbat Para, we purified ourselves. And now Shabbat HaChodesh, Chodesh from the language of Chadash. We are renewed towards Rosh Chodesh Nisan and Mitziat Mitzrayim with the Geula. And so let's have a look at Parshat HaShavua. This Parsha is two Parshiot together, Vaykhel-Pekudei, and a very interesting Parsha and quite long. We have the telling of how they actually built the Mishkan, and afterwards how they actually made the clothes of the Kohen and the Kohen Gadol. And this brings up a very interesting question. Why do we have all this lengthy description of how to build the Mishkan, the tabernacle? Why? In Parshat Truma and Tetzaveh we already learned how to make the Mishkan. But here, once again, we told exactly what they did, detail by detail. What's going on over here? How can we explain this? A nice explanation, which I'd like to offer, is Lo Aid Midrash Ha'ikar Ela Ha'maseh. That is a sentence from Perek Aleph. Lo Midrash Ha'ikar Ela Ma'aseh. In other words, what is important is not the learning, but the actions, what you carry out. We learned the details and the learning, how to make the Mishkan. What's important now is to actually build it. The Mishkan is the aim of the book of Shmot. We learned that the book of Shmot is Yetziat Mitzrayim, the creation of Am Yisrael, then the giving of the Torah, and then Hashem's presence coming down within the Jewish people forever. And so we reach the height of everything. We see at the end of Parshat Pekudei, at the end of the book of Shmot, but the Kvod Hashem mileh et Mishkan. The honor of Hashem filled that Mishkan. A mini Har Sinai, like Ramban says. And so we have over here Vaykhel-Pekudei giving us the description of the making, the doing. Many times in a person's life, you have dreams, you have aims, you have ideals, and it's wonderful to think about lofty things. And we must aim for the top, and aim to lift ourselves to a higher level of existence, of a meaningful, spiritual existence, a meaningful existence. But it's not just enough to dream. It's not enough just to think and to but the whole thing comes through with the actions when things are carried out in this world in a practical level. People dream to get a degree, and people dream to become very learned. And they sit in and they have all these dreams. The actions, let's see you do it. Let's see you sit and learn what you have to learn. Many people have dreams to get married and have children, and it's very nice to dream, but let's get down to working on it and making a family. And the same thing for anything in life. But the main thing in life is Lo Midrash Ha'ikar Ela Ma'aseh. That's what I feel is what this parsha is all about. Bringing the Shekhinah down into Am Yisrael after the dreams, after the hopes, and now it actually happens in detail in this world. Now, Parsha Vaykhel is very interesting. It begins with an interesting note. Vaykhel Moshe et kol adat b'nei Yisrael. He gathers them together. Vaykhel from the language of Kehila. Rashi. What does Rashi say over here? Lemocharat Yom HaKippurim. He gathered them together the day after Yom Kippur. Sheyered min ha'ar, when he came down Har Sinai, and Hashem had forgiven them. Remember, he went up Har Sinai. They did the sin of the golden calf. He came down, smashed the tablets. They went up Rosh Chodesh Elul to do tshuva. Yom Kippur, Hashem forgave them. Salachti kidvarecha. And here Hashem forgives. And the next day, Moshe Rabbeinu comes down and he says Vaykhel. It says Vaykhel. He gathered them together and he starts telling them about the building of the Mishkan. What is this all about? Why does he gather them together? Here we have the most amazing Kli Yakar. His name was Rav Ephraim Limchitz, and he lived in Prague, and he was the student of the Maharal from Prague. He lived about 450 years ago, and he's buried apparently next to the Maharal. This man wrote the most amazing commentary called the Kli Yakar, the valuable vessel. And here he says the most beautiful Torah, which I recommend everyone looks up in the actual words themselves, and I'll share it with you. Vaykhel Moshe, he says, why does he have to gather them together? In order to build the Mishkan, why does he have to gather them together? And he says as follows. He says, let me find it, there we are. He says, Al Tzad Remes, to hint to us. In other words, Shehakal hazeh haya letavech hashalom b'neihem. There had to be shalom b'neihem. There had to be peace between them. He says again, there have to be shiyu ba'aguda echad. One people, one unit together. In order to build the Mishkan, they have to be united. Now we think back and remember Har Sinai. In order to receive the Torah at Har Sinai, they had to be, like Rashi says, Ki'ish echad b'lev echad. One person with one heart. And in order to receive that beautiful Torah, we can only be united. The same thing we have over here, that in order to build the Mishkan and Hashem's presence to come down into this world, we have to have unity, says the Kli Yakar. Shiyu kulam aguda echad. And therefore, it's so important. Unity is so important. Really, the Tanya in Perek Lev, the book Perek Lamed Bet, Rav Shneur Zalman Ladi's famous book, he writes over there that really we all one big neshama, and our aim is to bring us back together in this world by loving the fellow Jew. We bring that oneness down into this world as well. Okay, so let's have a look at the Parshiot itself. And we start reading, Vaykhel Moshe, etc., gathers them together, and suddenly we start learning about Shabbat. Sheshet yamim te'aseh melacha, u'vayom hashvi'i yeh lachem kodesh. Shabbat Shabbaton Hashem. Should be a holy day, a Shabbat to Hashem. Kol ha'oseh bo melacha yumat, etc. We learn about Shabbat. What's the connection? So here, as everyone knows, we learn Rashi from the Gemara and the Midrash. Hikdim la'im azarat Shabbat tzivui melechet hamishkan. Why do we always learn about Shabbat before we learn about the Mishkan? She'ena duche et Shabbat. And here we have the oral Torah, the Torah Sheba'al Peh, says that they built the Mishkan during 6 days. Came the 7th day, Shabbat, and they stopped the build of the Mishkan. And everything they did in order to build that Mishkan is forbidden for us to do on Shabbat. The 39 forbidden works, 39 Melachot Asura. So now, let's just examine what Shabbat is all about briefly. We have over here, last week's parasha, Kitisa, we have these psukim once again about Shabbat. Achet Shabtotai tishmoru, keep my Shabbatot. And then we have Shamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'aseh et HaShabbat. The Dorot HaBrit Olam, we told Shabbat is the covenant. We told that Shabbat is the sign. And we told twice that Shabbat is a sign. It says over here, Achet Shabtotai tishmoru, keep my Shabbatot, ki oti beni benechem. It's a sign between me and you. And then once again, B'shamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat, oti, we told that it's a sign. Why is it a sign? What does it mean that Shabbat is a sign? Comes along the Chafetz Chaim, the famous parable. Once upon a time, there was a man, and he had a shop, a general store, with a big sign. And one day he had to go away. He took down the sign, he turned off the lights, everything, he closed his shop, and he went off. And another neighbor said, hey, he's gone. He's not coming back. His sign's down. So he made another shop. After 3 weeks, the first man came back. He said, hey, why'd you make a shop facing my shop? Said the second man, but I thought you went. You took down the sign. There's no sign. That sign was most important. That sign is the ot. That sign means that the person is there. So what is the meaning in the parable? Shabbat is our sign. Shabbat is a sign that we are a Jew, and it's a sign that we believe in Hashem. Why do we keep Shabbat? Because Shabbat tells us and reminds us that Hashem created the world. Shabbat is also about Zechel Yetziat Mitzrayim, that Hashem brought us out of Egypt, and Hashem is active in the history of the Jewish people, and active in our lives on a personal level. Each one of us. That's why we keep Shabbat. Emunah, faith in Hashem. And so we have to now have a big sign, and that sign is Shabbat. Now, a sign, they're little signs and they're big signs. They're ugly signs and they're boring signs and they're exciting signs and they're bright signs. We have to make sure, me and you, that our sign is bright, it's big, it's shiny, it's wonderful to look at, it's wonderful to be in. Our Shabbat should be special And that is something each one of us has to work on, not only to keep the melachot of Shabbat, but also to make it special. But then we have another question. Why does it say Shabtotai Tishmoru? Why in the plural? And here we have once again the Chafetz Chaim. It's a beautiful idea. Not only should you make sure that your Shabbat is special, it's in the plural to teach us that you have to make sure that another Jew keeps Shabbat. Other Jews around you are keeping Shabbat. We have to make sure, not only care about our Shabbat, but everyone else's Shabbat as well. And so, Shabtotai Tishmoru, keep my Shabbat. The Kuzari, in the book, Rabbi Yehuda Halevi, in the book The Kuzari, from 700 years ago, writes the most wonderful thing in Berg, the third Ma'amar, the third chapter, and he speaks about how Shabbat is the focus of our week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're moving up towards Shabbat. Even on Wednesday, in the Song of the Day, Shir Shel Yom, we even mention at the end, the Pasuk, the verse, Nechur Nara Hashem. And then so we're Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're getting ready for Shabbat, getting ready. Sunday, we feel the sparks of Shabbat, that the Havdalah cup overflows into the week, and Shabbat overflows into the week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we still feel the Kedusha, the holiness of the previous Shabbat. And in fact, it's even in Halakha, you can make Havdalah until Tuesday afternoon, without the candle, without the spices, but the holiness of Shabbat is there. And so Shabbat is the focus of our week, the focus of our lives. And that, in that way, Shabbat makes our lives a much more spiritual life. Shabbat Hayom Lashem. It takes our mundane week and elevates our very existence to a high level of spirituality. That is the beauty of Shabbat. And so we have to work on our Shabbat, make it special. And we remember at the end, another nice idea that we learn, Achet Shabtotai Tishmoru in the plural. And one of the commentators says, Shabtotai Tishmoru in the plural, because we all know if Am Yisrael keeps 2 Shabbatot and declares their faith in Hashem, Mashiach will come straight away. Until then, we'll wait for Mashiach, we'll pray, and we'll build the state of Israel, and we'll build Eretz Yisrael and Am Yisrael. Together, we will be ready for the final Geulah. Let's hope it happens quickly, and we'll see you all in Eretz Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom u'Mavorach to everybody. Shalom.